trainings for mutual funds, financial investments. So since property or real estate is already part of an investment portfolio, so dun po nag-branch out yung company into putting up Ramper Realty. So to give you more idea about Ramper Financials, so we are the largest Philippine distributor of mutual funds in the Philippines. So we also provide training, financial planning, and consulting for any investment-related concerns or inquiries. So here, currently, so Ramper has already 50,000 clients across all product lines. So be it mutual funds, insurance, life insurance, non-life insurance, and HMO. And then Ramper is also managing over 15 billion assets under management and also a consistently awarded third-party distributor of mutual funds in the Philippines. So we are being headed by our boss, si Mr. Or Rex Mendoza, or si Boss Rex. So before establishing Ramper Financial, so Boss Rex used to be president and CEO of PhilAm. So right now, what we now know as AIA, and also served as a marketing head of Ayala Land. So right now, he's also our big boss here in Ramper Financial and Ramper Realty. Okay, so Ramper Realty and IMG has been partnered, or should I say Ramper Financials and Ramper Realty has been partnered ever since. So matagal na po yung partnership nila. But right now, in line with IMG's goal to train Filipinos or to educate Filipinos regarding financial literacy, Ramper Realty is also part of that mission. So as you can see here, dito po sa ating slide, so makikita po natin that we have this a pyramid. So all of you have seen this pyramid before. So this is what we have in our book. So for a complete financial plan to work, so we must have a strong foundation, and that is where insurance and HMO comes in. Of course, we also have to have emergency fund and then investment. So mutual funds and real estate are part of the topmost or the top part of the pyramid, which is investment. Okay, so we're one with you in spreading financial literacy for all Filipinos here in the Philippines and abroad by providing access to different investment products, and one of those is property or real estate investments. Okay. So I'll just have to stop my video, no? So medyo humihina po lang po yung internet ko. Okay, so now let's proceed to introduce who is Ramper Realty. Yan. So our goal for everyone is to guide dreams home. So like what I was mentioned kanina, having a house or having a dwelling or a shelter is for majority of Filipinos. Ito yung parang ultimate goal kasi natin, di ba? For example, normally here in the Philippines, masasabi natin na ang isang individual or isang family is already well off if they have already invest or nakapagpundar na sila ng sarili nilang bahay or sarili nilang shelter. Tama po ba? So if you guys agree to that, so can I see a thumbs up? And thank you, Sir Philip, and thank you everyone for agreeing on this one. Okay, so si Ramper Realty is a sister company of Ramper Financial, so which is recognized as one of the top 10 wealth management services company in the Asia Pacific. So imagine from providing or training IMG members with mutual funds or financial instruments, we now have an avenue for us to train you when it comes to real estate or property investing. Okay. So why partner, or what are the benefits of partnering or working with Ramper Realty? So of course, syempre, our team here of brokers and salesperson or agents are trained or has experience in different sectors of real estate, be it for condo, house and lot, and even lots. So we also offer one-stop shop real estate service. So as you can see, hindi lang po tayo typical na real estate brokerage that only sells property, but we also help our clients in selling their properties if in case yun yung goal nila, gusto nilang i-liquidate. And then we also help them in leasing out the unit so it could generate cash flow. And also, we can also help with bank loan consulting if in case we want to use bank loans for leverage when it comes to buying properties. Of course, we could give you expert guidance or advice regarding the type of property or the strategy in investing in real estate. And lastly, I would like to emphasize this, no, yung pang-apat na benefit. So special discounts and exclusive deals. So it's a work in progress. So right now we are partnering with major developers and property owners all over the Philippines. So we could give you discounts or special offers na hindi available to the general public. So we have the IMG Marketplace where you can find properties all over the Philippines. So if in case hindi pa po hindi nyo po nakita yung property na choice ninyo in the marketplace, please let me know so I could include those in the marketplace. Okay, so our services or the benefits would be, it's a holistic way. So we can assist you from the time that you purchase your first property investment up to giving you support or assistance in securing bank approval, and then leasing kung sakaling gusto po nating mag-generate ng cash flow yung property natin, and then liquidation. So for example, gusto na nating i-resell or i-flip yung property na binili natin for a profit, then we can also help you with that. We can also assist you in liquidation. So here, so we, if you're looking to buy a property, so we are partnered with different developers all over the Philippines, as well as secondary market or yung mga property owners that are liquidating or selling their assets. So we have the sell here. So we are speaking or partnering with property owners for the liquidation of their assets. And then if your strategy is to lease your property, so we can represent both you as the lessors or the lessee or yung mga tenants. And lastly, we have the bank loan support. So we can help you secure the most competitive home loan offers and fast approval na available in the market. So here is the team that comprises the Rambo Realty sa ngayon. Excuse me. So we are being headed or being led by Ms. PV. So she's our president and also a licensed real estate broker. Then we have Sir Erickson. So Sir, most of you siguro already met or already know Sir Eric. So he's actually just supervising the activities and plans for Rambo Realty. And ako, yours truly, I'm Ronald Lagbana, and I'm the one assigned for any real estate inquiries among IMG members. So be it buy inquiry, sell inquiry, leasing inquiry, among the other property requirements na kailangan po natin na assistance. So I'm here. So ako rin po yung makakausap nyo kapag sakaling kailangan nyo, let's say for example, nag-inquire po kayo through marketplace. So ako rin po yung sumasagot or nakikipag-chat sa inyo in that platform. So as mentioned, we are partnered or accredited with top real estate developers in the Philippines, giving you the best property and deals available. So right now, as you can see, so we are accredited with different developers. So mapa-condo man yan, mapa-house and lot, or mapa-townhouse man po yan, meron po tayo. And also, we can also cater to your property requirements, be it in the luxury market or in the mid-market or even to the affordable market or affordable properties. We have it all. Kumbaga, sabi nga kay SM, di ba, we've got it all for you. So if in case merong local developers dyan sa area ninyo, let's say in Bulacan or let's say in Davao or in Jensan, please let me know so we could partner with them, so we could offer them, we can also negotiate with them for possible deals for IMG members. So here, so you can see on the slide, so we have here Warren Buffett, so a seasoned investor. So I think he's one of the most popular investor that we have here. So as sabi, he has a statement or may sinabi po siya na real estate is a long-term game. So do not try to get rich quick. Instead, focus on buying properties that will generate income and appreciate over time. So yan po yung direct statement ni Warren Buffett regarding real estate investing. So hindi po ito yung parang short-term or medium-term na investment. So really, it's a long-term game. Kumbaga, when you bought a property right now at this price, And then if you decide to, let's say, liquidate it in 10 years time, 15 years time, 20 years time, of course, that's the how you can benefit from the capital appreciation. And at the same time, having an investment in real estate allows you to generate cash flow. So how? That is through renting it out or leasing it out to prospect tenants in the area kung saan located po yung property. So kumbaga, hindi ito parang bibili ka tapos after a year or after 2 years, ibebenta mo na agad. So it's really more on the long term. So you cannot fully maximize the benefits of your investment in property if short-term lang yung time horizon natin in acquiring a property. So we should focus or we should commit to a long-term strategy in real estate investing. And then another thing, so sinabi rin po dito na ni Will Rogers na don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait. Kasi kumbaga parang ganito po yan eh. So kumbaga parang sa kunwari sa stocks or sa mutual funds, kapag aantayin pa natin na maging perfect yung economic condition or yung let's say stability or let's say kumbaga yung market tatimingan natin. So kumbaga hindi natin ma-achieve yung goals natin kung nag-aantay lang tayo. 'Di ba? 'Di ba po ba? So kumbaga it's important that if you have the capacity now or if kaya mo nang mag-invest in a property, so why wait, 'di ba? Kasi right now especially in the case of other key cities in the Philippines like Cebu and Davao, the price of the properties in those areas outside of Metro Manila continually increase. So later on, may papakita po akong some market outlooks regarding the Davao real estate market. So here, so let me start quickly now with the definition or the basic introduction about real estate. So ano nga ba yung real estate? So sabi dito, and sinabi rin kanina sa video, real estate is defined as the land and any permanent structures like a home or improvements attached to the land, whether natural or man-made. So ibig sabihin, lahat po ng mga images na ipapakita ko in the next slides are real estate properties. So itong sample houses, so these are considered real estate because it has a house and it's connected, attached to a land. Then this is also a real estate property. As well as this, yung mga condominium buildings, tsaka yung mga office buildings in your area or in your city, that's also part of real estate property. And then of course, syempre, pinakang basic definition natin ng real estate is yung lupa. So it could be a land that is being used for agricultural, commercial, or industrial use. So that's also part of real estate portfolio. So it's a land, anything that it is built on it or naka-attach dito are considered real estate properties. So kumbaga, why real estate, no? So kumbaga, unlike with other products na namamanufacture natin based on the demand, with real estate kasi, it's something na hindi natin namamanufacture, di ba? Agree po ba tayo doon? So can I just see thumbs up or a yes on the chat box? Yes, thank you so much for the feedback, sir. Okay, so kumbaga, like what I was mentioning kanina, ang lupa hindi na natin yan na-manufacture. So kumbaga, limited resources po yan. So even though nagre-reclaim, may mga areas dito sa Philippines na nire-reclaim natin for land development, still, iba pa rin yung scarcity na dala or scarcity ng resource natin na real estate or property because hindi na siya nagagawa. It's a natural resource. And at the same time, habang umuunlad ang isang area or isang country, dumadami rin ang population. So kumbaga, there will always be a demand for housing for every Filipinos. Okay? So again, what are the benefits of investing in real estate property? Okay? So first benefit would be, of course, syempre, ang importance of real estate. Of course, you can, it has a numerous or a lot of benefits for those who know how to maximize the uses of real estate. So una nating benefits of investing in real estate is the passive income. So can I just ask everyone if what is the definition of passive income? Just one word lang po or just few words. money works for you. Okay, yes. Actually, tama po yun, money works for you. Kasi sabi nga, di ba sa training natin sa mutual fund, so there's actually 3 stages. Man at work, man and money at work, and money at work. So passive income is on that level of money at work. So it gives you consistent earnings generated with minimal active involvement. So example po niyan would be a rental property. So let's say for example, ikaw is meron kang 8-door apartment complex in your area. So you own 8-door apartment complex and then pinaparentahan mo yung bawat room at 10,000 per month. And then i-assume natin ang occupancy rate niya is 100%. So yung buong 8 doors are occupied. So let's compute kung magkano yung potential income or passive income that you can generate from this apartment. So here, so let's compute. So 10,000 per room or per door times 8 doors. So that's 80,000 per month. And then 80,000 per month times 12 months in a year. So that's 960,000 annually. So kumbaga, 960,000, earning 960,000 per year from an 8-door apartment is actually a decent amount of money. So kumbaga parang normally ano na to it's also a yearly income of a mid-level manager in a, let's say, in a BPO setup or in an office or corporate setting. So kumbaga parang imagine if you are also doing other business or practicing other profession and then meron kang extrang ganitong amount na pupasok annually. Of course, syempre, it gives you that certain level or certain level of financial freedom. Kasi even though 960,000 is still the gross amount, so syempre kakaltasin pa dyan yung mga expenses and taxes in maintaining the property, pero still, hindi basta-basta ganun kadali mag-generate ng ganitong amount, di ba po? So, yun. So, let's say, i-assume naman natin na 50% lang yung occupants mo dito sa property mo, sa apartment mo. So, 10,000 times 4, so that's 40,000 per month. So, 40,000 times 12 months in a year, so that's 480,000. So, still, hindi pa rin masama, di ba? Kumbaga parang malaki pa rin yung na-generate natin kahit apat lang yung pinto na bakante or occupied in your apartment complex. So that's one of the first, actually the first benefit of a real estate investment. And then pangalawa is capital appreciation. So ito naman yung benefit na kung saan, let's say bumili ka ng property of 10 years ago at this price and then na-develop yung area, naging city yung area. So of course yung value ng property na binili mo in that location will definitely rise. So kumbaga, it could happen na hindi lang siya minimum yung increase niya, but it's massive. So kumbaga malaki yung posibleng maging return on investment ng property na binili mo a decade ago. So one example of this capital appreciation. So let me just show you this property, Serendra. So this one is located in Fort Bonifacio in Taguig. So this was nilaunch or binenta noong 2004. It was 2004 na kung saan ginagawa or pre-selling pa lang po yung Serendra natin. So when Ayala launched Serendra, it's priced at 80,000 pesos per square meter. So imagine niyo yung Fort Bonifacio dati. So ang meron lang tayong makikita dyan is yung market lang. So, nung time na yon 2004, and a few buildings, so ginagawa pa lang si Serendra. So, fast forward to 2024 last year, so the value or the average price per square meter na meron po tayo dito is 210,000 pesos per square meter. So, that's total of 163% value appreciation. Of course, syempre kung ikukumpara natin ngayon yan, it's umaabot na po yan ng about 250 to 300,000 kasi po, BGC or Fort Bonifacio is already a well-developed central business district here in the Philippines. So kumbaga yung pag-shoot up ng price niya, if you're one of those early investors in this Fort Bonifacio area, so definitely your money has already gone double the price na binili mo siya 1 decade or 2 decades ago. And then third, investing in a real estate property allows you to have a certain form or a certain level of leverage. So using borrowed funds like a mortgage that can amplify your real estate portfolio. So right now kasi, if you can notice, there's a lot of developers or projects na you can literally buy without cashing out the whole amount or the whole price of the property. Kasi before, if tama po ako, no, when bibili po tayo ng property, iniisip po natin na kailangan, kung ang price ng property is 1 million, kailangan meron tayong 1 million na pambayad ready. But right now, you can invest or you can start your real estate investment for as low as 10% to 20% of the price of the property. And then, ang maganda pa doon is if it's under construction or pre-selling, that 20% down payment can be amortized or pay installment in 36 months or 48 months, depending on the target completion of the said property. So, kumbaga, for example, to basically speaking, so leverage is like, for example, you have 10 million funds na pwede mong i-invest. So you just, let's say, gamitin mo lang yung 4 million to invest or for a down payment in a property. And then the other 6 million, you can invest in a business, you can invest in mutual funds, you can invest in stocks. So kumbaga, na ma-maximize mo yung diversification kasi iba-iba yung returns na pwedeng i-offer sa atin kapag ka nag-invest tayo sa stocks, sa mutual funds, and sa property. Okay? And then pang-apat po is, so yung first three benefits or importance of real estate investing is really more on the investment side. But this last three benefits is really more of the ownership or personal use benefits. So una, a real estate property is a tangible asset. So it's a tangible asset because physically nakikita mo siya. Kumbaga nararamdaman mo siya. Kumbaga parang nakikita mo yung mismong product na binibili mo. Unlike with paper assets like stocks and mutual funds na papel lang yung pinanghahawakan mo or certificate. Or let's say for example, if you are investing in bitcoins, 'di ba? Or in cryptocurrency. So kumbaga parang digital money kasi 'yon. Hindi siya tangible. Unlike with real estate na, for example, if you buy a condominium unit, so nakikita mo, nafe-feel mo, let's say kapag ka umakyat ka na sa penthouse or let's say sa mid-floor, so nararamdaman mo na nandun ka sa mismong condominium unit na binili mo. Same goes with buying a house. So let's say kapag ka, for example, nakikita mo yung bahay mo, ito yung ganito siya kalaki, and then ito yung number of rooms, di po ba? And then kung sakaling binili nyo naman pong property is let's say farmland, of course syempre nakikita mo or natatanong mo kung gaano kalawak yung farmland na binili mo. And lastly, it's a tangible asset because aside from that, kumbaga parang the moment you handle or mahawakan mo yung susi, that's also a manifestation na it's tangible, it's really tangible, it's real. Di po ba? And then, pang-lima na benefit of real estate is fulfillment and enjoyment. Of course, syempre, meron kasi tayong tinatawag na kapag parang buyer experience or buyer remorse kung sakaling not so good experience. So, when we buy a real estate, well, when we say, sabihin natin, bumili tayo ng bahay or ng condominium, of course, syempre on our end, iba yung feeling na parang parang feeling mo you have already achieved a certain level of financial stability kasi kaya mo na mag-maintain ng sarili mong bahay or sarili mong condominium. So let's say for example, imagine this everyone. So for example, imagine niyo yung pakiramdam na kung sakaling kayo yung pumipirma nung deed of sale ng binili niyong condominium unit, di po ba? Or let's say for example, binigay ko na yung susi ng bahay na binili niyo sa akin 2 years ago or a year ago. Iba yung sense of satisfaction na mararamdaman natin once we were able to achieve that that financial stability for us to invest in a real estate property. And then lastly is legacy for generations. Of course, syempre, since this is a tangible product, so this property becomes a part of your estate. So kumbaga, property is something na you can also pass on to your heirs or sa mga children mo kung sakaling by the time na ililipat mo na yung mga ownership ng properties or let's say yung mga other investments na naipundar mo all throughout your productive years. So it's generational wealth. So for example, if you were able to build something like parang an apartment business or let's say a condominium building or a commercial building, of course naipapamana natin yan, naitatransfer natin yan sa mga anak natin or let's say sa kung sino mang heir or tagapagmana ng magiging property natin. Okay? So just checking lang po quick at checking na attendance. So we're already 42 on our Zoom meeting. So can I please get a heart emoji sa ating chat box so I could know na everyone kumbaga parang you're still here in the seminar or in the training. So can I ask for a heart emoji? Thank you. Thank you, Sir Philip. Thank you, Ma'am Nelia. By the way pala guys, quick break lang no. So nakapag-dinner na po ba kayo? Nag-dinner na po ba lahat? Ayan. Yes, yes sir. Actually, kakatapos ko lang din before tayo mag-start. So, how about po nakapag-coffee po ba? Ayan, yon si Miss Myra nakapag-coffee. So, medyo mahaba-haba pa po yung seminar natin. So, please sit back, relax, and kumbaga parang enjoy yung training or yung seminar natin regarding real estate. Okay? So, let me quickly get back to our presentation. Ayan. So right now, we'll discuss the strength of our Philippine real estate. So this one is really more of something like economic outlook or market outlook. So medyo may mga numbers tayong titingnan dito. No? So ayan. So here, as you can see here, so according daw to Capital Economics, and which is a research organization, so Philippines is set to become the world's 18th biggest economy by the year 2050. Of course, it's actually a good indicator of our growing economy. Kasi kung mapapansin po natin, ang factor po that leads this research firm or organization to predict na we are poised or we are positioned to become a big economy by 2050 is because of our population. So kung mapapansin po ninyo, no, majority ng ating population are between 23 to 45 years old. So ibig sabihin, bata pa po yung populasyon natin. So ibig sabihin, kapag malaki po yung ating younger population, malakas po yung ating consumer spending, and at the same time, yung working force or yung working population or yung productive population is marami. So that contributes to the income of or the economy of the Philippines. And at the same time, as I've mentioned nga kanina, since ang ating economy is more of driven by consumerism or consumption, so the bigger the population, the more consumption ang nagdadrive ng ating economy, which is why we are positioned to become the biggest economy by the year 2050. And then, according din sa isang publication na nilabas ni Bangko Sentral last year, so the Philippine credit rating, so it affirms na ang credit score natin is stable. So, kumbaga sa atin as individual person, so meron din kasi tayong tinatawag na credit score. So, yan po yung nagde-determine ng risk or let's say, kumbaga parang gaano ba ka-trustworthy ang Philippines kung sakaling maglo-loan siya for their economic development. So, according to S&P Global Ratings, ang rating natin is stable or BBB+. So ibig sabihin, we're almost going there to the positive rating, so yung A+. So kumbaga, kapag ang country, a specific country is rated C or D, ibig sabihin, masyado po yung risky sa mga foreign investors. So definitely, yung mga countries with the ratings of C or D plus or negative, yun yung mga iniiwasan usually ng mga foreign investors para maglagay or mag-invest ng pera nila. But for those countries rated as BBB or A plus ratings, so sila po yung talagang kinoconsider for foreign investments. So basically, kumbaga, if in case the country decides to get a loan for infrastructure development, so kumbaga, it's one of the indicators na that other countries or international financial organizations are trusting the Philippines when it comes to credit. So yun po yung ibig sabihin nitong BBB+. And at the same time, with real estate kasi, sorry, it's important na kapag bibili tayo ng real estate property sa isang location, importante na alam natin kung ano ba yung mga incoming or upcoming infrastructure development. Siyempre kasi alam naman po natin na kumbaga ang country natin is archipelago. So kumbaga parang yung connectivity is a challenge, especially that we are composed of more than 7,000 islands. So infrastructure can help with the economic development by connecting yung mga islands natin, and at the same time connecting rural areas to urban areas for development. So kumbaga parang here are some of the upcoming and ongoing or planned infrastructure projects all over the Philippines. So like for example, here in Metro Manila, so we have the MRT as well as the subway project. So that can actually shoot up properties na dadaanan ng station for subway, especially that kumbaga it will increase accessibility in those cities or areas, and at the same time it will shorten yung travel time from, let's say, Makati going to Quezon City or going to Bulacan or other areas of nearby Metro Manila. And then for the island of Luzon, so we have the Luzon Spine Expressway Network, or the LSEN program. So it's a series of roads or expressway that connects that starts from the Ilocos region going down to Bicol region. So kumbaga yung connectivity or yung road network natin is mapapabilis yung travel time from Bicol to Metro Manila, as well as connecting Manila to the northern part of the Philippines. So some of the existing road networks here are the TP-Lex, the NLEX Harbor Link, the Skyway Stage 3, as well as the CALAX. And then for the in the case of Mindanao naman, so we have listed several infrastructure projects. So we have some projects going on or completed in Cagayan de Oro, in Davao region, as well as in Lanao area. So kumbaga, these are some of the examples of the projects being planned and constructed for the area of Mindanao. So for the case of Davao, so I think they have here the Samal Island, Davao City Bridge. So it will connect Davao City to the Samal Island, as well as the Davao City Bypass Construction Project. And so here are some of the details of this one. So kung gusto po ninyo, kung curious po kayo sa mga planned or proposed infrastructure projects in the area in your city, so meron po yan, available po yan sa publication sa website ng Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. So nandito po siya sa baba yung credits or yung source ng photos natin. Ayan. So right now, we're already 43 on the seminar. So right now, the question might be, now that you know the economy as well as the infrastructure projects in the Philippines, so how will you know na ready ka na maging investor, or paano ka ba maging isang real estate investor? Okay? So una, it's actually 2 steps lang, no? So una is kailangan alam natin kung ano yung goals natin. Ano ba yung purpose natin? Why are we buying properties? So kailangan nating tanongin yung sarili natin na, is it investment or end use? Because yung kung ano man yung pipiliin yung goal dito in buying a property will actually determine kung ano bang dapat mong gawin, ano ba yung dapat mong factors na i-consider in deciding to buy a property. Of course, syempre, for example, if it's investment, of course, kailangan mong malaman yung economic or business activity in the area. And then kung end use naman yung goal natin in buying a property, of course, we have to know ano ba yung parang mga the hustle and bustle of owning a home or home ownership. Because either way, be it investment or end use man yung purpose natin in buying our real estate property, it all boils down to one thing. So in real estate, it's just a matter of location. So kumbaga parang yan talaga yung basic decision factor natin when it comes to buying real estate. Of course, syempre, we want to buy a property in a location na kumbaga booming yung business, or at the same time developing siya, and at the same time kumbaga parang something that will mafe-feel natin na gusto nating tumira for the long term. And then one of the indicators na siguro masasabi natin na developing or umuunlad yung isang area is kapag ka nakita nyo na itong dalawang to na nagtatayo ng pwesto nila dun sa location na yon. So bakit nga ba? Bakit kung nga ba ginamit example si Jollibee tsaka si SM for determining business or economic development? Kasi these companies or these businesses, before they put up a store or a branch in that particular area, they conduct feasibility studies. So kumbaga pag-aaralan nila kung ilan yung population dyan, ilan ba yung dumadaan dyan, or let's say tourism industry dyan sa area na yan, so that kumbaga when by the time na magtayo sila ng branch nila in that area or in that city, they know that they have a market or they have a potential customer. So kumbaga kasi before in my province, so kumbaga nung time na yon, nung when I was younger, wala pa kasing any of these two, even Jollibee. So kumbaga it's still considered as parang third class municipality. Pero nung mga mid-2000, nung nagtayo si Jollibee ng franchise store dun sa area na yon, so that's the time na kumbaga nagkaroon ng parang improvement in the way na we do business. Kasi kumbaga because of kumbaga parang pagtatayo ng store ng Jollibee na yon, so mas dumami yung dumadayo from the nearby towns, because just to experience yung simpleng alam niyo yun, yung experience of eating in a fast food restaurant. So yon. Yeah, so like what I've mentioned, when a certain town, usually when it's progressing, isa po sa pwede nating tingnan indicators is when there is when there's a Jollibee store and SM branch being built in the area. It's because mainly of the feasibility study. So pinag-aaralan po nila yan before po sila bumili ng lupa na pagtatayuan dyan, or before po sila magtayo ng branch or ng store in that location. In terms of top real estate location, so you might be wondering, ano ba yung mas hinahanap ng mga Filipinos when it comes to real estate location? So here are the top 5 real estate locations na hinahanap ng mga Filipinos here and abroad. So top 1 is Quezon City, and then Makati City, and then third is Davao City, and then Iloilo City, and the province of Cavite. So in terms of this data, so no question, Quezon City is actually a big city here, component city here in the Philippines. So kumbaga, no wonder, and at the same time, maraming infrastructure projects like the subway and the MRT 7 stations that are planned to be built here in Quezon City. Kumbaga, it's no doubt the reason why it's being one of the most sought after location here in Manila. Same goes with Makati City. So kumbaga, Makati City is a premier financial business district here in the Philippines. So kumbaga, in terms of offices, companies, they are actually looking at Makati to put up as an office or a headquarter in this location. And then Davao City, so later on we'll discuss some details about why is it one of the top locations. And then unang way to determine how to be a real estate investor is to know your goals, be it you're buying for property for investment ba or end use. And then second is assess your financial condition and your needs. So dito, kailangan na natin gawin yung due diligence natin in assessing kung ano ba yung kaya nating bilhin na property or kung saan ba tayo bibili. So una natin kailangan i-assess is our budget. So kailangan nating i-goal or kalkulahin natin kung magkano bang price or amount ang i-invest natin for this property. So dito papasok yung concept of budget. And then pangalawa, can I afford to get a property in this location? So kumbaga parang knowing that you have already searched for different properties in that area, ano ba dun sa mga options na yun ang pasok sa cash flow natin or sa financial capacity natin? And then pangatlo is, should I take a bank loan for half the price of the property or do I need to pay in cash? Of course, kayo po ang tutukoy niyan sa inyong sarili. Kasi kung sakaling gusto niyo pong mag-leverage, take leverage, of course, bank loan is the way to go. Pero kung sakaling tayo po yung individual na ayaw po natin ng financial obligation sa bank, of course, syempre, it's up to you if you would like to pay the whole amount of the property. And then pangalawa is location and accessibility. Of course, syempre, no-brainer. Real estate is about location, location, location. So, kailangan nating alamin ano ba yung mga nearby developments in the area. Accessible ba siya even via public transport? And then, how can I get to this location from my current location? So, kumbaga parang, in terms of this factor, location and accessibility, of course, no-brainer na if we are looking to buy a property for end use, of course, it has to be something na near sa mga business district or near where the center of action is. Kumbaga parang, nasa sa atin na lang kung sakali pipili tayo sa medyo malayo, let's say medyo liblib na area kung saan tayo magtatayo ng bahay. Of course, location is still a primary factor to consider for your needs. And then pangatlo is connected with location, no? So that's economy. So yung location ba is popular among businesses, tourists, and other investors? Why? Bakit natin kailangan itanungin ito? Because if we're planning to invest in the property for rental purposes, of course, importante na yung location na pinaprospect or tina-target natin must have businesses, a lot of businesses in the area. And then kung sakaling ang goal naman natin why we will buy a property is dahil gusto natin mag-operate as Airbnb host, of course, syempre, kailangan natin malaman kung gaano ba kadaming turista ang dumadayo dun sa area na yon, monthly or yearly basis. So you have a target market kung paano mag-generate ng cash flow yung property mo. And then pangalawa, what are the upcoming developments in the city or town? Si ganitong developer ba magtatayo ng condominium dyan? Si SM ba magtatayo ng pangalawang mall dyan? May mga tulay bang nakaplanong gawin dyan? Meron bang expressway na nakaplanong itayo or gawin dyan sa lugar na yan? And then last but not the least, is the area generally safe to live in? Siyempre, if ang goal natin is bumili ng bahay for end use, siyempre gusto natin na safe and secure tayo dun sa location na titirhan natin or bibilin natin. Kasi kumbaga, kumbaga parang it's a part of the benefits, yung sense of security and fulfillment. Siyempre dapat, if it's end use, the place or the area where we will invest should be generally safe and secure to live in. And then last consideration is the type of property. Siyempre kailangan natin alamin kung ano ba yung life stage natin, ano bang type of property yung gusto natin. So, am I ready for condo living ba? Especially if you're a young professional na gusto mong kumbaga mag-adulting, kumbaga parang gusto mo ma-experience yung independent life, ready ka na ba for condo living?
Recording stopped.
Pero kung sakaling ikaw naman yung individual na may sarili ng pamilya, of course, syempre you might prefer a house. Syempre mas malaki yung space. And then for those for parents, does the community or the condo allow pets? And then lastly, I need a bigger space for my family. So, kumbaga parang right now you might be renting a property in a specific area near your work or your business. Of course, syempre darating yung time na your children will grow up. Of course, you will need a bigger space for your family. So those are some of the four to assess. So budget, location, economy, and type of property. Okay. So
recording in progress.
So in general, so to become a real estate investor, first, you should know your goals. Are you buying a property for investment or primary use or residence? And then pangalawa would be assess your financial condition and your needs. Siyempre, kumbaga, kailangan alam natin kung ano yung gusto natin, ano yung kaya natin, so that kumbaga parang we might avoid yung mga pitfalls when it comes to real estate investing. Okay, so let me just quickly check the chat box kung mayroong questions. Okay, so far wala namang questions. So I would just like to know everyone, is everyone learning naman po with the presentation that we have? So can I please get a thumbs up in the chat box? Okay, so I think, ayan, so thank you po. So hopefully with the past slides that I presented, so I'm happy that everyone is learning so far. So let me just quickly continue with the presentation. Okay, so right now, you might be wondering, no, so ano bang property or saan ba location yung gusto kong tingnan? So here, for IMG members, we all know that we have the IMG Marketplace. So right now, there's already a section in Marketplace wherein there is a category for real estate. So you just click real estate and then hanap po kayo ng property with pre-selling, ready for occupancy, rental, or if you would like to sell your property or rent it out, there's also a separate button for that. And then kung sakaling mayroon na po kayong target location, you can just key in or search the address or location or city kung saan po natin gusto maghanap ng property. So we have the IMG Marketplace. So yeah. So actually in IMG Marketplace, so there's already a few or several properties uploaded there already. So from looking for your dream home to actually buying it, there's actually a system inside Marketplace. Of course, syempre, Marketplace might not be the way for everyone, no? So still, face-to-face pa rin, if for those individuals who prefer face-to-face, of course, syempre, andyan pa rin naman po yan. Kumbaga, Marketplace is just there to help simplify yung home buying process po natin. So tanong lang po everyone, no, in this meeting room. So, lahat po ba tayo nakakapag-login sa Marketplace or nakapag-login na po sa Marketplace? Please share your answer to the group by saying yes or no. So nakakapag-login naman po ba tayo sa Marketplace? Or nagagamit na po ba natin? Ayan. So thank you. So may mga marami. Oh, hindi pa po. So yun. Sa IMG Marketplace, so aside from real estate, there's actually other categories na available. So parang Marketplace is like becoming like a Lazada or Shopee for IMG members. Of course, syempre, there's property for property category in the Marketplace. So once you have the time or after this training, so please log into your Marketplace and then go to real estate category and search for or check the property lang po para at least kumbaga you can get to parang a review or consider na rin kung ano ba yung mga gusto nating property for our family or property na gusto nating i-invest. So no worries, it's okay if hindi pa po natin nagagamit yung Marketplace natin. So it's just there. So if you have the time, so just log in and feel free to browse for any property or any categories that you'd like. Okay, so let me just continue again with my presentation. Yan. So what are the benefits of using the IMG Marketplace? Of course, syempre, we created IMG Marketplace to simplify the process of home buying for IMG members. So right now, we already have selection of real estate properties nationwide. So it's still a work in progress. So kung sakaling meron po kayong property or location na hindi po ninyo nakita sa Marketplace, you can let me know. You can contact me via email or through Viber para mai-add ko po yung mga property options na available dun sa location na target po natin. Yan. So at the same time, aside from wide selection of properties, IMG Marketplace is actually easy to use platform. So kumbaga, it's easy to type in the location or the city kung saan natin gustong tumira, and then lalabas po yan. Kumbaga parang it's easier for you to find good deals and ideal projects. So hindi ko naman po ina-upload yung mga properties na to dito sa Marketplace kung hindi siya, kumbaga parang hindi ko siya i-recommend for other people or other IMG members na makakausap ko along the way. And then lastly is the benefits of using the IMG Marketplace or working with us for your real estate need are the exclusive offers. Of course, syempre, we are partnering with top major developers in the Philippines. So we are working on getting exclusive offers and special discounts for any real estate transactions with our partner developers. So some developers are generous enough to give as much as 10% discount kahit no DP. And at the same time, there's also developers that are actually giving average discount, and some are actually giving some freebies na rin for buyers. So kumbaga, but one of the benefits is instead of you negotiating for discounts, so we are actually working to get approval of the special discounts for you guys. So yan. So for those na who would like to check the wide selection of properties in IMG Marketplace, so we have here the QR code. You can screenshot this and scan it and upload it on the QR code scanner. So, or you can just type in the link below. So it's marketplace.imgcorp.com/login. So yan po yung link natin for Marketplace. Okay? Yes, thank you. So yan. So I would like to kumbaga parang share this video, this familiar quote, no? So in real estate or in any form of investments, there's a saying that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the next best time is now. So kung sakaling literally speaking, so kumbaga parang tama naman na kumbaga if we want to enjoy the fruits of a certain tree o yung bunga ng puno na tinanim natin, so dapat 20 years ago nagtanim na tayo. Para ngayon napapakinabangan na natin siya or ng anak natin or ng family natin. And then the next best time is now. So kumbaga parang in connection dun sa isang sinabi na about or quote about real estate na don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait. Kasi you never know eh. Kumbaga by this time ito yung price ng property in the area, let's say in Davao or in Cebu, but come to think of it, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, the value of the property in those cities are not the same as it was today. So kumbaga, the best time is really 20 years ago and the next best time is now. So kumbaga, hindi mo tatimingan yung market, hindi mo huhulihin yung perfect timing, but instead, you maximize or you capitalize on the price that you can see now because there's still a lot of potential for growth. Okay. So just to prove kung yung regarding dito sa statement na to, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago and the next best time is now is this. So we have here the case study of Forbes Park. So anyone familiar or have already heard about Forbes Park? Yes, okay. So here, in this case study, so I'll be using the example of Forbes Park. So Forbes Park was launched way back in the 1950s, so after World War II. So it's located in Makati City, and right now it is considered as one of the most expensive villages in Asia. So kumbaga yun yung parang prestige of having a property here in Forbes Park. Kumbaga some influential people in the Philippines, politicians, celebrities, and other high-profile people actually have a house here in Forbes Park. So going back in the 1950s, when it was being sold or marketed to the public, it was priced at 88 pesos per square meter. So imagine if you have 100 square meter na lot here in Forbes Park. So that's only about 8,800 pesos, yung price ng 100 square meter na lote in Forbes Park 70 years ago. So however, looking at the advertisement of houses in Forbes Park, wala pong 100 square meter na bahay dyan. Ang pinakamaliit po na lote na you can find in Forbes Park is 400 to 500 square meters. Some houses or some lots are actually 1,000 square meters in Forbes Park. So imagine yung price kung i-multiply nyo with 88 pesos per square meter back then. But today, fast forward to today, so yung current price per square meter natin here in Forbes Park is playing around 600 to 700,000 pesos per square meter. So kumbaga yung nakikita natin na parang jump or yung growth niya over 7 decades is massive. So kumbaga parang if you have like for example, sabihin natin you have 1,000 square meters of land here in Forbes Park. So right now, 600,000 times, magkano yun? So you do the math. So kumbaga, that's the idea. So kumbaga parang, if you would search for properties or house for sale here in Forbes Park, so you can see properties being sold at 500 million up to 1 billion. Depende kung gaano kaganda or gaano kabago yung design ng bahay. So ganun po yung gusto kong ipa-explain or ipaliwanag sa inyo on how kung ano yung potential na pwede nyong ma-benefit in real estate through capital appreciation. Okay, so those are some of the basics. No? So right now, let me just dive into a specific area for this presentation. So I'll be using Davao City. So since most of you are from the financial center in Davao, so I'll just have to put some examples for Davao City. So if you're eyeing, for those attendees here that are eyeing for properties or investments in Davao City, so here are some of the reasons why you should invest or why you can consider investing in Davao. So una is economic growth and stability, then strategic location, population, rental market, tourism, and affordable property prices. So isa-isahin ko po ito para mas maliwanagan tayo regarding these reasons for considering Davao for your next real estate investment. So una is the economic growth and stability. So basically, ang economy kasi ng Davao is mainly agricultural, tourism, and business. So kumbaga, a lot of people from other parts of the Philippines visits Davao to have a tour. Kumbaga, hindi lang siya business district, but it's also fueled by agriculture and tourism. And then second reason for economic, or second point for economic growth and stability is that it is the main economic and business hub in Mindanao. So ibig sabihin, kumbaga kung ang Luzon has Metro Manila, Visayas has Cebu City, Mindanao has Davao as the main hub. And at the same time, Davao has the reputation for a favorable business climate or environment. So ibig sabihin, business-friendly policies and low crime rate. So actually, yung mga asterisk na po o yung mga data na nakikita ninyo dito, it's actually cited from different sources or nakuha po natin yan from different sources. So hindi ko po yan basta ginawa lang or hinulaan lang out of thin air. And then second reason why you should consider this location is that it is an ideal hub for trade and commerce. So kumbaga, at the same time, with the location of Davao kasi, it's actually very near to key cities in Southeast Asia. So it's near Indonesia, it's near Brunei, it's near Malaysia, and also very near to Singapore. So kumbaga, yung trade or yung mode of trade or commerce in the area is actually making Davao an ideal location for trade and commerce. And then population. So kanina na-mention ko kanina na kumbaga ang population can actually affect our position as as strong economic growth in the next few decades because of the and then population actually brings about rapid urbanization. So kumbaga this population number actually gives demand or drives demand for housing in the area, especially for professionals, business owners, and students. So kumbaga the more na there's a school being established in the city, of course it will attract more students to study there. And then if there are a lot of businesses putting up their offices or headquarters in that area, of course, it will attract professionals because there are opportunities for them to work or to grow in that area, in that certain area. So kapag ka dumami yung population in that area because of these factors, so definitely magiging maganda yung takbo ng mga business, and at the same time, it will give more revenue to the city. Where those businesses are located. And then rental market. So dito, as of 2024 or last year, the average rental price daw ng mga property or apartment in Davao is average at 18,500 per month, which is 3% na mas mataas from the previous months. And second is that in terms of occupancy, so kumbaga mataas yung occupancy rate natin for properties in Davao. So it's at 92%. So ibig sabihin, it indicates a strong demand for housing in the area, especially for the rental market. So kumbaga, if you are planning or you are eyeing for investment or rental investment in this area in Davao, of course, there's a strong demand. So kumbaga parang there is a prospect for you to lease out or to earn cash flow from your property by renting it out. And then tourism. So Davao is not just a metropolitan or a cosmopolitan city. So kumbaga parang it's a mixture or a balance of urban and rural living because kumbaga looking at the map, it's actually very near to Samal Island, and at the same time, this is where the Mount Tabo is located. So kumbaga those natural attractions invites or encourage tourists to visit the area. Aside from the other strong points or strengths of the city. And then second is the city is also boasts of excellent healthcare facilities, clean and safe neighborhoods, and infrastructure developments. So for those attendees here na living or residing in Davao, can you say yes to the chat box to if you agree with the data or with the points that are indicated dito sa presentation natin? Ayan. So So kumbaga, the data itself speaks for itself. So kumbaga, as I've mentioned earlier, these are kinuha po natin ito sa mga sources. So kumbaga, hindi ko lang to parang hinilaan or out of thin air or parang kinompose lang. So it's actually supported by sources. Ayan, so thank you so much everyone for your messages in the chat box. So let me quickly continue. Ayan. And then lastly, one of the reasons why you should invest in Davao Real Estate is that properties currently are at the affordable rate. So kumbaga affordable pa yung prices ng mga properties natin in the area. Unlike with Metro Manila na kumbaga I'm sure nababalitaan po natin na there's an oversupply of condominium units. But in the other areas like Cebu and Davao, so there's still no oversupply of housing units. So kumbaga that's the reason why the price of are affordable or kumbaga parang tama lang yung pricing ng mga properties in the area. So for example, some studio units in Davao is priced at between 3 to 4 million on the average. Of course, property prices is increases pa rin. Pero 3% in 2024 versus the 4% increase for properties in Manila and 8% in Cebu. And then there's a lot of variety of property options available for rental market. At the same time, tourism, so kumbaga parang it's one of the visited cities or areas in the Mindanao area. And lastly, affordable property prices. So later on, I will show some examples of properties that you can check in the marketplace should you consider or should you get interested to invest for your own property in Davao. So here are some of the featured projects for investment. So dito hindi ko lang siya in-include yung for Davao area, but I also included a few suggested or recommended properties based in Cebu. So I'll flash them one by one so you could have a short idea or short information about these projects. Okay. So first three projects or properties that I will be flashing are located in Cebu. So we have here Calea Heights, so located in Guadalupe, Cebu. So this is under DMCI Homes. So you can invest for a property here now, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, depending on your need. And then to give you an idea, so for Calea Heights, a 1 bedroom unit has a price that starts at 5.7 million. So here are some of the photos or architect's drawing of the property, the Calea Heights in Cebu. So here, so this is under DMCI Homes. And then the second is the Casamira Towers, which is located also in Guadalupe, Cebu. So this one, it has, they actually for this property, they're offering studio unit that starts at 10,000 monthly. So ito yung para magiging monthly installment or equity if should you decide to invest in this project or this development. So this one has unit offerings of studio and 1 bedroom. So the price range for studio are between 2.9 to 3.3. And then for 1 bedroom with 47 square meters, so it's 6.6 million. So here are some of the photos for this property for Casamira. So may I ask if there's anyone in this meeting based in Cebu? Can you please type in Cebu if you're from Cebu? Is there anyone from Cebu po ba from the attendees? Okay, so let me just, yes, I think wala nga yata sir na based in Cebu. But okay, so let me just quickly continue. So that's in Guadalupe, Cebu. And then pangatlo is Mantra Residences, which is located in Mandaue in Cebu region. So this one, it's one of the affordable properties in Cebu because for a studio unit, you can get a property investment here for 3.6 to 3.7 million. And then 1 bedroom is 6.1. And then the reason why it's actually an ideal for investment is that you can take advantage of the payment terms because they are offering, for Mantra Residences, they are offering down payments can be paid in installment after 3 to 4 years. So kumbaga parang if you're only required to pay 20% of the amount, so makikita natin dito for a studio unit. So there is a only a monthly down payment or equity of 8,000 per month. So yan. So that's for the Mantra residences. And then for Davao, so I'll be proceeding or moving forward to Davao. Of course, everyone is familiar with the Abrisa development. No? So one of the condo projects that are actually pre-selling or under construction in Abrisa is the Patio Suites. So Patio Suites is actually under Alveo, which is part of the Ayala Land brands. So here are the the unit types as well as the price ranges of the units here. So the equity can be paid installment up to 3 years. So for a studio with a size of 26 square meters, yung price po natin is between 6 to 7 million. And then the 20% can be paid up to 36 months or 3 years. So this one is located within the Abrisa complex, and it's actually under construction until second quarter of 2026. And the next is another DMCA project, but this one is located in Davao. So this is called Verdon Park. So yung location po ni Verdon Park, if anyone, for those living in Davao or residing in Davao, so Verdon Park is located in the near SM City Davao or do sa may Ecoland area. So doon po siya located. So this is actually a ready for occupancy property. So for Verdon Park, there's only a requirement of a minimum of 15% spot down payment for you to occupy the unit. So they have this parang early occupancy or early move-in program. Na kumbaga, ang kinaiba kasing tong DMCA condos with other condos in the area is that there's a certain feel na parang you're living in a resort style condominium complex because iba talaga yung ambience kapag if you are living in a condominium unit of DMCI versus other condominiums within the vicinity of the area. So for Verdon Park, so they have 1 bedroom and 2 bedroom units with the price range of 4.4 at the minimum and 7.6 million price for a 2 bedroom unit. So it's actually composed of 4 towers. So meron po diyang mga towers na ready for occupancy na, and then meron ding towers na parang may mga finishing touches pang ginagawa. And the next condominium that you can check or consider is the Lane Residences. So si Lane Residences is under SMDC. So it is actually located within the complex of SM Lanang Premier. So located in San Antonio, Agdao within the SM City Lanang Premier Complex. So for Lane Residences, the available units are for investment are studio units with sizes between 24 to 34 and then the price range of 3.1 to 5.5. However, for Lane Residences, currently po, wala na pong available na units dito for if you are eyeing for an investment in this property, in this Lane Residences. However, from time to time, may mga nagre-reopen na unit and ino-offer po siya ni SMDC as is where is. So kung ano po yung itsura ng condominium unit na RFO, yun na po yung mismo binibili po natin. So wala na siyang parang mga other improvements na gagawin. Kumbaga as is where is po siya. And then next, let's move forward to the next property. So it's Likha Residences in Davao. So this one, property type na po ito is townhouses. So yung location po nito, so since medyo bago pa lang po itong nirelease ni Finma Properties, so this townhouse development is located, medyo malapit po siya doon sa may, malapit din siya sa may SM Lanang, if you're familiar with Manga Avenue. So nandun po siya. So sa ngayon, bakanteng lote pa po yung area na yon. And then ang plano po nila dyan sa mahigit 1 hektarya na property na yan ay tayuan mga townhouses. So yung mga townhouses na to, these are all 2-bedroom townhouses. So nagkakaiba-iba lang po sila ng sukat ng lote. So minimum is 88, tapos 185 square meters yung buong townhouse. So they have 3 varieties. So si Marikit, Hiraya, and Mutia. And then ito po yung mga price ranges po nila. And at the same time, ang kinaiba po nitong townhouse na to, property na to, aside from the design being designed by a popular architectural firm, it's also that some townhouse models have their own elevator inside the unit. So kumbaga parang you don't need to use stairs to go from the second floor to third floor. Meron po siyang built-in or meron pong kasamang meron kasama pong elevator inside the townhouse, which is why the price the starting price or the minimum price of the townhouses here starts at this amounts, 19 million, 25 million, and 28 million. And then lastly, so if we have medyo expensive na townhouses, so let's move naman dito sa budget-friendly lots. So for those in or from General Santos City, so we have Bloomfields. This is under Robinson's Land. So this one, they only offer lot only. So kumbaga parang even though there are model houses na recommended, still they only market it as house. So kumbaga parang tayo po yung mismo magpapagawa ng bahay natin or yung house model na naka-categorize dun sa lot na bibilin po natin. So for this one, for Bloomfields, General Santos, so this one is near Mindanao Polytechnic University. So that's the nearest landmark for this property. And then for price ranges, so mga lot only, so 3 to 5 million for a 250 to 350 square meter lots. So these are considered as the budget-friendly lots. So here for Bloomfields, down payment is payable up to 2 years or 24 months. Then the rest can be bank financing or you can pay it from your own funds. Okay. So all these property recommendations, so you can check it inside the marketplace. So kung hindi naman po natin siya makita inside the marketplace, please let me know so I could actually upload the details of these properties for you to review and consider in your future property investments. Okay, so if you're still looking for other options for your dream home, so please let us know, ask for more details. So if in case yung developer na or project na gusto po nating malaman or matutunan is hindi pa uploaded in the marketplace, inform me right away po so that I could actually work on getting partnership with that developer, with that certain developer. Okay? So you can, before we wrap up the presentation, so I would just like to open the floor for question and answers. So meron po bang gustong magtanong regarding sa ating presentation or sa topic for today? Okay, so habang nag-aantay ako ng questions from the crowd or from the attendees, so let me just move forward with the screen or with the presentation. So for more details or for more updates regarding real estate or some information, some learning, so hanapin nyo lang po, Rumber Realty, and just hit like, subscribe, or follow button so you could be so that you can be keep posted or updated with any real estate offers or real estate events or real estate recommendations for your area. And then before I proceed yung mga frequently asked questions from some IMG members, I would like to open the meeting or the floor to question and answer. So for those na may mga gusto pong itanong, please raise your hand and unmute yourself, or you can just type in your questions in the chat box para masagot po natin sila. Okay, so we have a message here. Okay, so first question would be, would a rental property targeting agricultural workers, for example, banana and cacao farm employees, be a stable income source? Well, regarding this question, no, so this is actually a good question kasi as you have mentioned, as we have kumbaga discussed all throughout the presentation, it's really more of residential yung concept. So kumbaga parang hindi natin na-cover yung sa agriculture, sa commercial, sa industrial. But regarding this question, I would say na yes, it is actually a lucrative or profitable target market if you have, let's say, more than 1 hectare ng lupa dyan sa Davao or anywhere in the Philippines. Why? Kasi since ang target mo dyan for cacao farmers, so kumbaga for example, ako yung may-ari ng lupa, tapos ikaw, Sir Philip, yung let's say cacao farmers. So you get to supply your product to chocolate manufacturers or cocoa manufacturers. So kumbaga yung potential income for that business is kumbaga malaki rin naman. Kumbaga malaki rin yung pwedeng kitain, especially if yung magiging tenant mo na planter or plantation is the main supplier of those manufacturers. And at the same time, kapag ka magpaparent ka sir ng mga farmlands or industrial lands, so usually may lock-in period yan na 5 years. So sa residential kasi sir, usually it's 1 year lock-in period. For businesses, let's say for example, industrial, mga tatayo ng warehouse, or let's say yung lupa mo gagawin din ng parang transport terminal, so minimum 5 years yung pwede mong gawin lock-in period. Kasi syempre may itatayo sila mga structure kung sakali. So kumbaga parang for you to offset mo rin yung risk mo o yung opportunity cost mo na instead na tinataniman mo siya, i-convert nila into a warehouse. Of course, you have to set the contract or the lease term longer so that kumbaga in the span of 5 years or 10 years, secured yung income mo for that property. So with that, I hope I have addressed your question, Sir Philip. No? So again, for anyone na merong further questions regarding real estate, please type in the chat box or you can unmute yourself para maitanong po ninyo yung mga gusto nyo malaman. So actually, kumbaga parang it's a good time to kumbaga parang ask a lot of questions. Kumbaga, syempre, it's a new training opportunity for everyone. Okay, so any further questions? Sige, sir. Okay, so our second question would be, could a rental model similar to dorm-style units for professionals and students work in Dawao's growing business districts? Okay, so regarding this, sir, no, so siguro pwede dito, sir, yung pasok dito yung concept of shared or co-living. So kumbaga, here in Metro Manila kasi, there's actually parang mga ganitong concept, yung mga dormitory concept for young professionals. So you can search later, sir, yung My Town, yeah, tama. Ano pa ba? So they are actually parang co-living or parang bed space. Now, for example, you own let's say a 40 square meters, tapos gagawin mo siyang parang naglalagay ka ng dalawang double deck. So that's 4 beds. So tapos magiging 4 yung parang bed spacers mo. So kumbaga parang that's an ideal, especially kung sakaling ang target market mo is yung mga ganito lang, malilit lang yung budget for rental. Kumbaga parang hindi sila yung mga kayang mag-shell out ng mga 15,000, 20,000 for a studio unit. So you can target that. You can target those markets. May market for bed spacing talaga, kumbaga. Kumbaga sila yung mga parang mga maliliit pa yung income na hindi pa kayang mag-rent ng sariling ng unit. So may market for that talaga. Pero Sir Philip, just to add lang din, no? So kung sakaling ganung model yung gagawin mo, yung parang bed space or dormitory type, you have to ask or you have to inquire sa building admin or property management ng condominium kung ilan yung maximum occupants na pwede dun sa condo. Kasi usually, for those na let's say, for example, mga DMCI, let's say Ayala, yung mga Alveo properties, usually may limit sila kung gaano kalaki yung unit. Let's say, for example, for DMCI, yung Verdon Park, kung kukuha ka ng 2-bedroom dyan, sir, usually they will allow up to 6 occupants. So parang tig-tatlo sa 2 room or 4 sa master's bed tapos 2 sa pangalawang bedroom. Kasi kumbaga parang yung number of occupants should be parang proportionate dun sa laki ng unit mo, sir. So kumbaga you have to check din kung may restrictions pa sila when it comes to the number of occupants. Kasi baka ganun yung naiisip mo model for let's say ganitong condominium tapos hindi naman pala pwede sa property admin. So in the end, kumbaga parang alam mo yun, yung hindi mo magagawa yung goal mo na dormitory type or bed space type. So kumbaga parang mas stick ka lang dun sa parang one family yung magre-rent or let's say mag-partner or mag-couple yung magre-rent sa unit mo. Okay, so does that answer your question, sir? Okay, thank you. And then we have a third question here. Okay, so from Sir Leo. So how much is the minimum income need to apply, especially doon sa budget condominium sa listing nyo? Okay, which is specific listing, sir? Okay, so siguro, sir, let's use this example, yung Bloomfields sa General Santos. So for example, for Bloomfields, it's a lot only. So sabihin natin 5 million yung price ng lote na kinuha mo, sir. So for example, in terms of income requirement, it would depend. So kumbaga ang general rule dyan is dapat kung magkano yung ibabayad mo na monthly down payment sa developer or magkano yung monthly amortization or magiging future mortgage mo sa bangko, importante na hindi siya lalampas sa 30% ng net income mo. So kung for example, if you are earning or if someone is earning 100,000 pesos per month na net, ibig sabihin kaltas na ito yung mga deductions niya tsaka yung taxes niya. So dapat maximum of 30,000 lang yun napupunta sa mortgage niya. Kasi that's considering na meron pa siyang other expenses or other loans or obligations na sinisettle. So kumbaga maximum na po yung 30% nung net income natin. So para malaman mo sir kung yung yung 30% ng net income mo is pasok ba sa income requirement to buy a property or to get a mortgage sa bank. So meron po tayong mortgage loan calculators. So pwede ko pong i-share yung template ko doon or you can check yung sa mga websites ng bangko, let's say BPI, BDO, they have home loan calculators there. So for example, for 5 million, so ang 20% niyan is 1 million. So ang ilo-loan mo is 4 million. So pwede mong ilagay doon yung 4 million as the loanable amount and then you compute kung ilang term. Let's say piliin mo is 10 years lang, 15 years, and then automatic po magge-generate po yung magiging monthly amortization mo. So for example, ang lumabas sa mortgage calculator ng bank is let's say nasa 25,000 lang and then ang 30% ng net income mo is 30,000. So still, pasok ka pa rin sa minimum income requirement. So kumbaga parang titingnan mo siya, dapat yung ibabayad mo sa bangko when you get a loan for a property, dapat times 3. So kung sakali ang computation sa'yo ng bangko for a mortgage is 30,000, at the minimum, dapat meron kang 90,000 or 100,000 na income na pumapasok per month. So yun. And then yung sa link, I'll share with you later, sir. Yung link, isasend ko po sa email niyo, sir. So Sir Leo, if you registered dun sa form na binigay ni Sir Philip sa inyo before or last week, so I can send the link to your email. Okay? So any further questions po from the attendees? Okay, so there's a follow-up question, sir, dito sa everyone do sa bank loan concern, no? So meron bang na-experience kayo na naguhulog na ng equity tapos na-decline ng bank loan? Actually, that happens, no? Kasi kumbaga, nangyayari po yan, di po maiiwasan na nade-decline ng bank dahil sa income. Kasi kung for example, may mga developers kasi na nag-o-offer ng sobrang babang monthly down payment. Let's say for example, 5% lang yung i-required nila na down payment of the property. So ibig sabihin, 95% yung kailangan ilong sa bank. However, nung kinompute na ng banko or nagpapa-approve na ng home loan, so kumbaga 95% yung lumalabas na amount na loanable. Wherein, standard, based on the standard ng banko, dapat 80% yung maximum loanable amount ng price ng property yung ilo-loan natin. So kumbaga, possibly nade-decline siya. And at the same time, kung sakaling ma-decline naman po yung buyer ng bangko, so what will happen is, ang mangyayari niyan is, mapipilitan si property buyer na bayaran from his own funds. So ngayon, kung hindi naman sorry. Ngayon, sorry for that. Okay, so for example, na-decline si property buyer ng bank. So ang mangyayari niyan is mare-required siya na bayaran from his own funds. Ngayon, kung walang ganung kalaking funds yung buyer, so what will happen is kung hindi niya mababayaran yung lump sum sa developer, what will happen is the possibility na ma-forfeit yung payments na binayad niya dun sa developer. Pero kung sakaling lumampas naman po yung down payment period ng 24 months, let's say nakabayad si buyer ng minimum of 2 years or 24 months, so may possibility na ma-refund po yung binayad niya. Pero hindi total, hindi 100% mababalik po sa kanya or ma-refund. So kumbaga parang kapag ganun yung nangyari, nakabayad ng 24 months si buyer, what will happen is kalahati lang po yung mare-refund. Tapos, si developer, magkakaltas pa po yan ng mga parang other fees, or let's say parang any expenses. Kumbaga parang kung nakabayad ka sir ng 500,000 for a certain property tapos na-decline ka sa bangko, hindi mo na matutuloy. So, 250,000 yung talagang 50% ng 500,000, babawasan pa po yan ng mga expenses and fees. So, kumbaga likely siguro mga 180 yung posibleng mabalik kung sakali po, sir. And actually, there's a law that, or provision sa law na that requires developers to para mag-refund ng payments na binayad ng client kung sakaling nag-cancellation sila, provided na minimum 24 months yung down payment period na nababayaran niya po. So I hope that answers your question, sir. Okay, so follow-up question regarding that. So ang scenario is na decline si buyer ng bank loan. So pwede ba yan ipa-assume sa iba if ever ma-decline? Regarding that, yes, pwede naman po yung ganun. Yun po yung mga term natin na tawag natin na assume balance or pasalo. So ang process po kasi niyan is different. Kasi for example, bumili kayo kay ganitong developer, let's say KTMCI. So kumbaga parang kapag katinuloy niyan, so syempre sa inyo pa rin. Kumbaga parang kay DMCA ka magbabayad. Ngayon, kunwari ako yung magpapasalo ng condo, or let's say ako yung magpapa-assume balance sa'yo. So ang kailangan mong gawin sir is yung total payments na binayad ko, ibabalik mo sa akin. So yun yung parang lump sum na babayaran mo. Tapos, since wala pa akong pinanghahawakan na titulo for that condominium unit, ang meron lang po ako is deed of assignment. So magagawa po tayo ng panibagong deed of assignment. So meron lang po kayong mga kailangang fees, kailangang isettle, or mga admin fees para na sa ganun mailipat po yung deed of assignment from my name to your name or to the new buyer. So yun. Although, kumbaga, if ever na gagawin niyo po itong mag-a-assume balance kayo, bibili kayo ng pasalo, make sure na thoroughly kilala niyo po yung current owner, and at the same time, kumbaga parang na-consider nyo, na-check nyo po yung lahat ng aspeto. Let's say, na-request nyo po yung updated statement of account niya, and other liabilities or obligations. Kasi the moment na in-assume nyo po yung property from a current owner, lahat po ng arrears or let's say past due na hindi ko nabayaran, malilipat na po yun sa inyo. So kayo na po yung sisingilin ng developer for those arrears or other obligations. So kumbaga, you really have to be parang take your time to get property or to buy the property, especially kung pasalo yung gusto mo kunin. So I hope that answers or address your question, Sir Leo. Okay, so how about other questions? Meron po bang other more questions from the group? Yan, thank you, Sir Leo, and thank you, Sir Philip, for sending your question. So how about the others? Meron po bang mga gusto pang magtanong? Don't worry, you can ask anything related sa real estate, be it your personal experience or be it of experience of someone you know. So you can ask me. You can ask today po. Okay, so habang wala pa pong mga panibagong question, siguro mag-proceed po ako sa mga FAQs. Okay? Proceed lang po ako sa FAQs. Okay, so dito sa frequently asked question, so first common question that I've encountered from other IMG members is, for example, I am a unit owner and I want to sell or lease out my property. Can Rambo Realty help me with that? What will be our arrangement with this? So to address this question, yes, if you have a property, be it a house or a condo that you want to sell or lease, we can help you with that. Just let me know or Rambo Realty agent or broker, and he will guide you, and we will guide you on the information and pricing for the property. In terms of the compensation, you only pay as a commission fee once the sale is successful. So other fees, wala naman po siyang cost on you. Yung mga advertising fee, wala po yung cost sa inyo as the owner. Kumbaga, once there's a successful buyer or there's a successful tenant or occupant who will lease your property. So for leasing, usually the fee or the rate is just 1 month of rent for a minimum of 12 months na lease term. So that's for residential. So same commission rate for leasing applies for industrial lots or agricultural lots. So let's say na-close mo yan ng 5 years. na contract lease. So one month of that pa lang yung katumbas na parang fee or rate for the broker. Okay, so what if the location or the property I want to invest in is not in the marketplace? Can we help you invest in that property or location? Yes, since we are a general brokerage, we can help you with that. So kumbaga, just let us know your location or project that you are interested in, and we will partner with that developer to serve you with your property requirements. And at the same time, hindi lang naman puro galing sa developer yung property na binibenta natin. Meron din tayong mga other IMG members or let's say our personal clients na may sariling property na gusto na rin nilang ibenta. So kumbaga, we can also send that to you. Although ang pinagkaiba kasi pagka for sale sa owner, usually mas mababa po yung pricing niyan kumpara sa current price ni developer. So if DMCI is selling 7.5 million na 2-bedroom, possibly sa secondary, pwede po yung mga 7 lang, 6.8, ganun po yung pricing. However, kapag si owner, pagka yung property na for sale is from owner, let's say ako yung owner, of course, syempre, ang terms ko dyan, full payment lang. Unlike with the DMCI na you can negotiate up to 2 years, 3 years na down payment period. Yung 20% in 3 years, tapos 80% bank financing. Yung, kumbaga mas flexible kung galing sa developer yung inventory kumpara sa galing kay owner yung property na binibenta. Kasi pag si owner nagbenta niyan, ano yan, full payment yan yung kailangan niyan. Kasi magpo-proceed tayo agad ng transfer of title. So yun po. And then third question, so ito naman, what if you have a family or a friend na hindi pa IMG member who wants to invest in a real estate property? Can I refer them to you? What will be the consideration or arrangement with you as an IMG member? Yes, regarding this one, even if your prospect or your property client is not a member of IMG yet, you can still refer them to Ramper for assistance since lahat naman ng IMG members are automatic referral network partners of Ramper. So lahat ng successful sales or lease na mako-close for my IMG member na in-endorse to Ramper, the referring IMG member get incentives based on their hierarchy or position in IMG. So for the complete guidance on the commission or on this one, so you may coordinate with the IMG admin or finance department. So kumbaga for those na siguro meron din siguro sa mga attendees natin ngayon ang gustong mag-agent din po or magbenta ng property, di ba? So syempre, if you will go the traditional way, let's say the one na pinagdaanan namin ni Ms. PV. So of course, kung gusto mo mag-broker, you have to study, you have to study, you have to take the board exam. And for salesperson, you have to parang undergo yung licensing. Para na sa ganon, you can freely, kumbaga parang you have the freedom to market property. Kasi here in the Philippines, hindi naman tayo basta-basta pwedeng mag-offer ng properties kung sakaling hindi tayo registered as a real estate salesperson. So for that, we make it easier for you. So kumbaga instead na kayo mag-undergo ng process ng licensing and accreditation, what we did is you are part of the referral network partner. So either way, for example, ikaw Sir Philip or si Ma'am Julie, meron silang family member na or client na gustong bumili ng property. So may partnership na yan beforehand, si Ramper tsaka si IMG. So kung ano man yung sa yung compensation na due for IMG. So si IMG na yung bahala mag-distribute nun sa inyo as the member and then yung sa the rest of the person in the hierarchy. So parang ganun po yung sistema natin. Of course, in the case of Cebu and Davao, since physically andito po ako sa Metro Manila, so for viewing schedule, ang pwede po natin gawin is tulungan tayo. So first step ng approach na ginagawa po natin is we can send, for example, ikaw Sir Philip, meron kang buyer for Davao condo, may mga condos in Davao, syempre magpe-present muna tayo ng 4 na options na property. So, then magse-set tayo ng virtual meeting with that prospect or with that buyer until matrain down natin ng 2 or isa na lang yung titingnan na property. Para na sa ganun, by the time na gusto niyang mag-check ng property, is doon mo na lang siya dadalhin Sir Philip. Tapos, before you proceed with a site visit dun sa property or dun sa condominium, of course, I will be the one orienting you of the guidelines. Siyempre, kung RFO na yung binibenta na or yung gusto natin tingnan na condo, hindi naman tayo basta-basta makakapasok. Kumbaga, kailangan natin ng permission, kailangan natin ng endorsement. So, kumbaga, yun yung gagawin muna natin na strategy or approach. So, we will schedule a meeting online, and then we will trim down or narrow down yung options, and then kung ano yung pinakamagustuhan na pasok sa budget and requirements ng buyer mo, sir, doon na lang natin siya dadalhin, doon natin siya i-close. So I'll be the one to provide you with the process or the complete guidelines for that. So yun. So kapag ka nag-successfully sale or na-close yung buyer mo, sir, so that will be tagged or that will be parang tag under you na it's your referral. Ayun. And then let me just check ulit yung chat box natin. I think may mga nag-send pa ng further message. Okay, so there's actually a question here. So medyo marami po yung tanong after ng FAQs eh. So here about sa renting po, what if hindi binigay ang commission ng may-ari sa atin? Paano po yung mangyayari doon? Okay, so Sir Leo, for that one, before po tayo mag-offer ng property for sale or mag-offer tayo ng property for lease or for rent, importante na before po natin yan i-post online or i-post sa marketplace, kailangan po muna natin mag-secure ng authority to sell or authority to lease na pirmado ni owners or owner and pirmado rin po ng dito sa ramper. Kasi kumbaga parang yung authority to sell na yun or authority to lease na yun, yun po yung magiging panghahawakan natin na document na the owner, binigyan niya tayo ng permission na i-offer yon for sale or for rent, tapos bibigyan na tayo ng fee na katumbas dun sa 1 month worth of rental fee nung for every 1-year contract. So kailangan wag po natin kakalimutan na mag-secure ng authority to sell from the owner or authority to lease from the landlord or from the lessor, kasi yun po yung protection natin. And at the same time, sa ngayon kasi may parang guidelines din po kasi from PRC na ang mga agents and mga brokers, hindi po kami pwede mag-post agad ng property kung wala kami nasa-secure na ganung authority to sell. Kasi baka nga naman kasi, for example, may nakita akong bakanteng lote dyan, tapos pinost ko online na for sale, pero hindi naman pala siya binibenta ng may-ari. So yun yung iniiwasan natin, kaya may guidelines po, kailangan may authority to sell. Okay? And then moving on to the next question, can you enlighten us about the Maseda Law? So one of the provision ng Maseda Law, ma'am, it's actually a protection for real estate buyers. Kasi parang it's a more parang ang provision po niyan kasi is in case na hindi na kayang bayaran or mag-voluntary cancellation na yung buyer do sa developer, the developer has to refund the payments made of the buyer. However, kung ano man yung mga expenses na related dun sa property na yun, yung mga notarial, yung mga admin fee, ikakaltas pa po nila yan. So yun po yung provision nun. Provided na dapat nakabuo po tayo or nakatapos or nakakomplete po tayo ng at least 24 months na down payment para mapasok po or mag-qualify po tayo ng refund from the developer under the Maseda Law. So yun po yung isa sa mga provision nun. So kumbaga parang it's a protection para sa mga buyer. Kasi may mga times kasi na before kasi hindi na re-refund. Kumbaga nasasayang yung down payment, yung pinaghirapan na pera ng buyers kasi wala silang protection na pwede pa lang mag-refund. Kasi kumbaga, kung babasahin po natin yung reservation contract or contract to sell ng developers, kasi may provision doon yung reservation pa lang na 20,000, 50,000. Pag hindi ka nagtuloy ng purchase mo, hindi mo na makukuha yun, hindi mo na ma-refund yun. So same goes for Maseda Law. So nakakomplete ka naman ng 2 years, so at least may ma-refund ka pa rin, may makukuha ka pa rin na amount from the payments na binayad mo. Yan. Yes, maganda yan. And then, okay, so another question is how much commission if we refer condo? Paano hatian? So regarding that, sir, it depends kasi kada developer magkakaiba po ng rate, commission rate. So nagkakaiba po yung commission sharing. So as much as possible na gusto ko po sagutin yung tanong nyo, yung sa part po kasi na sa IMG, hindi ko po siya mapapaliwanag ngayon since hindi pa po siya na-discuss. Kumbaga parang hindi ako authorized and at the same time, hindi pa siya fully na-disclose sa akin ng admin ng IMG. So hindi ko po muna siya masasagot sa ngayon. So ipapark ko lang po muna natin yan. Pero yun nga, as I've mentioned, may sharing po. Kumbaga parang meron po kayong rebate or incentive. And then if in case, yung sa commission share ninyo, kung ayaw nyo siyang, kung gusto nyo mapababa yung price ng property na binibili po natin, pwede mo siyang gamitin as discount. On top of the discount na meron tayo na ni-request or let's say the standard na binibigay talaga ni developer. So either way po. So it's either you use that as your parang additional discount or you can use that as part of your incentive or commission. And then another question, do you assist for bank financing application for a brand new property? Yes, we can help you secure a bank loan. So for the property. So kumbaga parang I have to check muna kung yung developer na binilhan nyo ng property is accredited with the banks that we are partnered in. Kasi currently, we are Ramver is partnered with BPI, Security Bank, BDO for home loan application. So what we do is we just endorse you to them. So kumbaga parang since may partnership na rin naman kami with those banks, so it's easier to secure approval since we have managed to endorse several homeowners or home loan borrowers from those banks. So pwede naman po nating i-assist yun. Pero kung sakaling hindi naman po yung property or development na binili po natin is hindi accredited with that bank, of course you have the freedom naman po to search for other banks in your locality na accredited or tumatanggap po ng home loan applications from those developments. Okay? Okay, so next question naman po from Ma'am Sandra. Tanong po, paano po kung meron akong friend na gustong kumuha ng condo unit? Halimbawa lang po, sorry. Magkano po yung down payment? At ilang years po ito babayaran kung monthly po magkano? At ano po mangyayari sa unit kapag hindi na po continue bayaran ng client? Salamat po sa sagot. Okay, so yung down payment, kadalasan po ang kailangan po natin is 20-80. So ibig sabihin 20% yung down payment minimum and then 80% yung loanable amount. And then there's also instances na nagpapapromo ang development or let's say for example sa ganitong developer nagpapapromo na let's say 10% lang tapos 90% loanable amount. Of course that's a good thing kasi bababa yung monthly mo. Let's say in 24 months or 36 months. Pero baka naman doon ka naman madali sa 90% kasi ang laki niyan. Kumbaga parang usually ang maximum talaga ina-approve ng bangko is 80%. So in that case, baka i-require ka pa ni developer na mag-spot down payment bago mag-due date yung bago matapos yung down payment period kasi 80% lang usually ang ina-approve ng bank. So kumbaga parang kailangan mo ring i-check if the developer and the bank has partnership for that terms of payment. Kasi for example, in the case of SMDC, they can offer yung minimum of 10% down payment in 24 months if maglo-loan ka lang, let's say for example, sa BDO. Kasi BDO is their parang sister company. Kumbaga, SM owns SMDC and BDO. So kumbaga parang kung dito ka lang mag-apply na bank, of course, syempre, valid yung promo na yan. Pero if you will use your bank na preferred, of course, that promo may not apply. So parang ganun po. And then ilang years po ito babayaran kung monthly. So kung yung years to pay po, it depends dun sa parang kung gaano katagal yung completion date ng property. Let's say for example, condominium. So pre-selling and then ang target completion is 2029. Of course, yung down payment period mo dyan ma'am for 20% or 30%, it would take about 48 months or 60 months. Depende po kung anong stage na siya ng development. So, kumbaga, the earlier, kumbaga usually may mga kumukuha po na talagang launching price pa lang, or launching pa lang ng property kasi, or ng condominium kasi mas mahaba yung down payment period. But the moment na, let's say for example, may pas yung 2 years or 3 years, nababawasan po kasi yan. Kumbaga parang, let's say 2 years from now, yung 60 months to pay mo, naging 36 months to pay na lang kasi papalapit na yung patapos ng construction. So, kumbaga, ganun po yun. It depends on the, kung pre-selling niya, kung gaano katagal po yung completion ng construction. And then yung monthly, it would depend on the price and at the same time, kung gaano kahaba po yung down payment period. So, Ma'am Sandra, if you could just leave your email address in the chat box so we could actually help you with with getting a computation, sample computations for a location or property na gusto niyo pong maging example or illustration, just leave your email lang po, ma'am. And then, ano ba mangyayari sa unit kapag hindi na po na-continue bayaran ng client? Okay, so for example, pagka yung, for example, 36 months to pay, tapos in 6 months, tumigil ka na magbayad, so the developer will automatically cancel your contract kung wala silang ma-receive na payment in the next 90 days or 3 months. So kumbaga parang automatic cancellation yun. So malalaman mo na lang na parang nag-cancel ka na kapag ka nag-request ka ng SOA, tapos sabihin nila na parang rescinded or canceled na yung purchase mo with that developer. So kapag ka, let's say for example, ganun scenario, definitely forfeited yung binayad mo in the past 6 months in favor of the developer. Pero kung umabot ka dun sa 24 months na nagda-down payment pa, tapos naisip mo na hindi mo, parang it's too much for you, then definitely the Maseda law will apply na kung saan meron ka makukuhang portion ng payments na total payments na naibayad mo in the past 2 years. Okay? So I hope that answers the questions po, Ma'am Sandra. So let me just move forward with the next question. So from Sir Alan, so may unit po kami sa SMDC malapit nang matapos ang equity. The question is, kung sakaling mag-ask po kami ng help for bank financing, ano po ang mga requirements? Okay, so Sir Alan, you have to let us know, are you locally employed or employed abroad? Kasi kung you are locally employed, usually ano lang naman po yan, 3 months recent payslip, tapos certificate of employment. So yun lang po usually. So kumbaga parang kailangan lang natin ipakita na ito yung cash flow, ito yung monthly income natin. Kumbaga ibabangga kasi di bangko yan kung magkano yung computed na or potential mortgage amount mo dun sa income na pumapasok sa'yo. So aside from that, kung sakaling self-employed ka or let's say may business ka, so usually mga business permits, audited financial statements kung medyo malaki na yung business mo, sir, or kung sakaling abroad, locally, employed abroad, so marami hinihingi, let's say certificate of employment, yung job contract with summary of compensation, payslip, and other certificate. So usually basta importante pong hinihingi ng bank dyan would be the proof of income, payslip, COE, job contract, yun po. And then here, another question. Do you assist? Yes, we assist po. Okay. For Sir Emmanuel na concern, so for IMG members kasi, no employment certificate or payslip. So, okay. Pero in terms of IMG, meron po ba kayo nare-receive na parang payment voucher kung sakali nakaka-receive po kayo ng commission? If there's a voucher, yung payment voucher or yung commission voucher, that can be used as payment. Payslip rather. And at the same time, kung sakaling for those self-employed individual, let's say for example, a real estate broker na gustong bumili ng property, since wala naman payslip usually ang broker or an agent. So what we submit is income tax return. So for example, yung let's say yung quarter 3, quarter 4 ng 2024, yun po yung isasubmit namin kung sakaling self-employed individual po kami. Let's say a real estate agent, real estate broker, ITR, income tax return. And for those other, let's say for example, IMG members, ITR, and at the same time, the bank may require you to present bank statements. So yung parang kung nagme-maintain po kayo ng libreta or ng passbook, i-photocopy, scan copy niyo po yun, isasubmit niyo po yung nilalaman nun. So, nilalaman nung passbook po natin. So, yun. Okay, so another question is, tanong lang po, if the prospect buyer purchase spot cash, sino po mag-shoulder ng expenses like capital gains, documentary stamp, entry fees, attorney's fees, and transfer ng condo title? Okay, so dalawang scenario po yan. So kung sakaling yung property is binili from the developer, so usually meron sa sample computation po, meron po doon nakalagay na miscellaneous fees or other charges. So yung other charges na yan na usually 5% to 10%, nung contract, nung selling price. So doon po kinukuha yung mga para dyan sa documentary stamp tax, admin fee, notaries, attorney's fee, tsaka yung transfer. So doon po kinukuha yung sa other charges or miscellaneous. So kung nag-request na po kayo before ng computation, sample computation, so meron po yung nakalagay na other charges. And then kung yung second scenario naman po is, for example, binili mo naman yung property ng spot cash from a property owner na gusto mag-liquidate. So usually, kapag ka nag-publish po si owner or si current owner ng price ng property, parang ina-add na po namin dyan yung capital gains tax, tsaka yung broker's fee or yung agent commission. Dinadagdag na po namin yun sa price. So kumbaga parang minsan may nakikita po kayo na advertisement ng property na let's say for sale by owner, tapos 6 million pesos net. So ibig sabihin pag 6 million pesos net, yun po yung parang expected nung owner or nagbebenta na makukuha niya na malinis. Kaltas na yung capital gains tsaka yung broker's commission. Pero kapag ka yung mga resale or yung mga for sale from owner, yung transfer taxes, attorney fees, notary fee, tsaka yung mga documentary stamp tax, si buyer po yung sasagot nun. So kung nga rin nag-publish po ako ng advertisement ng resale or for sale from owner ng 6.5, including capital gains and commission, so possibly mag-add ka pa po doon ng mga 350,000 to 400,000 para sa documentary stamp tax, transfer fee, notary fee, attorney fee, and transfer nung title. So, yun po yung scenario. So, I hope that answers your question, Sir Mr. DR Davao. Okay. Ayun. So, yun. So, Sir Eman and Sir Leo, yes. If you're applying for a bank loan, yes, ITR. And then, if in case, kindly, kung mag-apply po kayo ng for bank financing, i-prepare nyo na rin po yung inyong bank statement. Kasi yun po, parang sa bank statement, gusto lang makita ng banko yung pasok tsaka yung out ng money sa account mo. So baka titingnan nila dyan yung balance mo, sir. So yun. So importante po yun sa ITR and then bank statement for self-employed individuals. So yun. So let me just check if meron pang further questions here. Okay. So far no questions. So I'll be just typing in yung email. So for any questions, further questions that you have, for any concerns you have na gusto nyo itanong, let's say, be it your own personal experience about property or mga personal questions nyo, so feel free to email me. It's realtyinquiries@tramver.com. So you can just send me your inquiry, concerns about real estate. So I'll be happy to answer those questions for you. So again, may gusto pa bang humabol ng questions? Okay, so let me just check ulit. Okay, so far wala na pong, let me just unshare my screen. Actually, yung diniscuss natin kanina na guide to real estate investing, it's just an introduction. So kumbaga parang it's an elementary real estate. So right now, I'm working on additional 3 training materials. So for yung second po na ginagawa natin is generating income through Airbnb. And then is long-term leasing. And then computing ROI on your property. And then yung last, yung pang-apat, yung pinakahuli natin gagawin will be ultimate guide to home ownership. So that's for those na hindi naman investment side. So for those na members na ang goal is to make end use yung property. Let's
Recording stopped.
Ayun.
Yes, no, we really look forward on those topics. Very exciting, 'di ba? Meron din ba kayong sir, parang may nabasa kasi akong book dati or I read somewhere. Yung parang you acquire a property, parang i-rent mo siya and then i-renovate mo siya to rent out, yung mga ganyan. Kasi parang ganyan yung uso sa Singapore. They don't have property na they own, pero they have a lot of units na income generating through parang subletting ba yon, parang ganyan. May ganun din ba?
Actually, yung idea na yan, ma'am, yung sublet, yung sublet or subleasing is actually part of the third module, yung long-term leasing. Kasi
Ay, wow, oo.
I think meron din dito, very few dito sa Philippines yung let's say mag-release sa isang owner tapos ipapalis din niya sa iba. And at the same
Oo.
I think it's also a good suggestion yung sinet ni Sir Philip yung for property management. That's something a different topic altogether na kasi. And then yung another would be yung sinasabi niyo ma'am na parang bibili tapos i-renovate and iano yung I think that would qualify yung flipping ng foreclosure, which is something
Yes, yun, yung ganun. Parang I have attended a seminar sa property. Tapos yung concept is from Robert Kiyosaki. Ganyan. You acquire old unit, ganyan. Parang, yun nga, foreclosure mga property and then you renovate or you rent it out, ganyan. And then income generating na siya without actually buying the whole property. Parang ganun. Diba?
Sige ma'am, we can
Ayun.
do that for future training materials or modules. Sige, I will take note of the property management as well as the foreclosure topics.
Oo.
Sure.
Ayun. Thank you so much. Yan. Sa susunod po ulit natin na mga trainings. Yan. Ipapaalam namin sa aming mga teams para mas matuto pa po kami sa inyo. On behalf of SG, TRM community, we appreciate and thank you guys for having you tonight and adding information sa knowledge namin about property. Okay? Thank you. Sir Philip, you have something to say? I remember that, Sir Philip, with Miss Bivet, di ba? She will come up with a orientation na ganito and then she even go to Singapore to meet us OFW before. Ayan. Bro Leo, andyan ka ba? Ayan, so we thank Bro Leo for organizing this also and ayan, allowing you guys to share your knowledge on this topic. Ayan, siguro may ginagawa siya. So